Welcome back. You're watching To The Point. After an alliance that was forged amidst great skepticism but also enormous expectation, has the PDP-BJP government in Jammu and Kashmir got off to an unpromising start? Or is that a mistaken view of viewing with a future? How effectively has the agenda for alliance bridged the differences between the two parties? And can the people of the state now expect a governance experience different to anything they've known before? With me to answer those questions is the president of the PDP and the architect of the alliance with the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mehbooba Mufti. Mehbooba ji, it was always known that a PDP-BJP alliance would be a difficult political relationship. But many people believe that you've actually got off to the worst possible start. Are you concerned by this unpromising beginning?
Oh, no, not at all, because it's not about PDP and BJP. It's about the mindset, both within J&K and in the rest of the country. That's what we have taken 2 months to come up with some kind of alliance, agenda wherein we can bridge the gap between the two sides. I mean, you have a Mufti Muhammad Said Saab, a statesman, a person who believes in the idea of India.
Can I stop you for a moment? I'll come to that alliance relationship. Let me first put to you...
No, don't stop me. Either you listen to me, or you keep on asking. I'm saying something. I said we understand that there is a very complex situation wherever, whether it's BJP, Congress, any other party, or the people of the country, their impression about Jammu Kashmir is different, and the mindset in Jammu Kashmir vis-a-vis country is different. So that's why this alliance took 2 months. And we are working towards bridging that gap.
Absolutely.
And it is not as if, over the night, we are going to turn out to be the Siamese twins.
Let me put this to you. Let me put this to you, Mehbooba ji. When he spoke on Sunday, your father was speaking as Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. What then was the need to first thank separatists and then Pakistan for a free and fair election? Even if he believes that is the truth, was it not indiscreet? And secondly, did he not know it would cause the controversy which it did?
Well, my father is a very, very, clear person. He speaks his mind out. So the thing is, the first line that is in our, alliance, government that will be empowered to catalyze reconciliation and confidence building measures within and across the LOC. So if there is violence, we are going to condemn it. And if we see that there has been some letdown in violence during this assembly elections, we need to acknowledge that and take it to the second level. It's a very good thing my father said that it seems that Pakistan, Hurriyat and other elements seem to have realized that political process, democratic process is the only way forward. Okay. So we had less violence in this election as compared to the parliament elections. That is a good thing. So we need to take this forward and see that they build more stakes. Pakistan builds more stakes in peace in Jammu and Kashmir rather than in violence.
I hear your explanation, and to me it makes a lot of sense. But the problem is, after your father spoke, first Home Minister Rajnath Singh on 2 separate occasions, and then separately the Prime Minister, forcefully and unequivocally distanced A, the central government, and B, the BJP from everything your father had said. Did that upset or embarrass either you or your father?
What my father said is, you see, what the essence of my father was, he is talking about reconciliation, rebuilding relationships, so that we have peace and reconciliation within state. We see that both Pakistan, Hurriyat, everybody has stakes in peace within Jammu and Kashmir, and this essence was not, displayed, or it was not carried the way my father said it. And as I said earlier also, there is a lot of distance that we have to travel. There is a different mindset when, in Delhi, and there is a different mindset in Jammu and Kashmir. So
Absolutely.
It's not going to be the first time. It's going to be, these hiccups are going to be there.
In fact, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister's response
coming out. This is
underlies that different mindset.
Jammu Kashmir problem is a legacy of partition. And the same mindset is also a legacy of that partition,
But can I ask you this?
Which has left many unpleasant,
you're talking about differences
that's why we are trying to stitch it.
Mehbooba ji, can I ask you this? You're talking about differences of mindset, and the very different response from the Home Minister and the Prime Minister underlines that different mindset. Were you or your father upset, or were you embarrassed by the fact that both the Home Minister and the Prime Minister forcefully distanced themselves from everything your father had said? Did that upset you?
See, that's, I said we have just started working. That's why we took 2 months for an agenda for alliance, wherein we have put reconciliation on priority, dialogue on priority. The people of Jammu and Kashmir had apprehensions regarding the special status. That has been, maintained, that there is an assurance. To take the LOC, travel and trade, to the second level, there is an assurance. There is a huge developmental, agenda, economic agenda, rehabilitation agenda, employment agenda. I mean, everything is there in black and white.
Absolutely.
So I don't think there is anything to worry.
No. I'll tell you, you're right.
They talk about a mindset which exists in Delhi. We have experienced it in 2002 when my father became the chief minister. We revoked quota. We controlled task force, we released all the
Can I bring you back to 2015?
And there was an apprehension in the NDA government that things may go wrong.
But let me put this to you, Mehbooba ji. Let me put this to you. You're talking about mindsets. You're talking about mindsets. It's not just in Delhi that there's a different mindset. There's also, it seems, a different mindset in the PDP. Now, for instance, 24 hours after your father...
Let me finish.
Mehbooba ji, you have to let me finish before you answer.
As well as for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. I'm very, very positive about that.
Let me put this to you. 24 hours after your father spoke out and got that adverse response, some of your MLAs then began to demand the return of Afzal Guru's remains. Now, I accept and I know that this is a very popular demand, it's a very emotional demand in the valley. But equally, you know that this is hateful to BJPers and it would be embarrassing to them. Were your PDP MLAs in a very strange way spoiling for a fight?
I think, unfortunately, the media people forget everything. You should remember that when Afzal Guru was hanged, not only PDP, Congress, NC, PDP, we passed a resolution in the assembly. BJP was there. They opposed it, but we spotted that the mortal remains of this Afzal Guru should be returned to his family, because even the Home Minister of India at that point of time, even the Prime Minister, even many BJP leaders acknowledged that his family should have been informed. He should have been allowed to see his family. After all, if you are doing something in the name of justice, the other part of the justice should also have been followed. So this is nothing new. What is new about it? Yeah, if you talk about Congress, who are raising a hue and cry, do you know they hanged Afzal Guru? They picked him up.
Can I bring you back to BJP-PDP? Let's not talk about Congress.
They are the ones who apologized for his hanging to get a vote for Azad Sahab in the Rajya Sabha. It happened recently.
Yes, but let's not talk about Congress. Let's talk about BJP, PDP. That's the subject today.
Because they wanted a vote from
don't deflect me. Come back to your own alliance.
To win the Rajya Sabha seat.
Let me make this point to you.
PDP is not making any U-turns.
Let me make this point to you. Mehbooba ji, you need to listen to my question. Let me make a point to you. One of the things people fear that's been illustrated by the events of the last 2-3 days is that after forging an alliance, both parties need to constantly reassure their constituencies that they haven't given up their traditional positions. Do you fear that that requirement means that there'll be a lot of posturing and therefore a lot of bad press?
No. Well, I think you should know my father much better. He doesn't believe in posturing. He believes in, action. He believes in, doing things which he believes, and he has been an Indian by conviction. When everybody, was dubbed as anti-Kashmiri at that point of time in early 60s, when he started his career, when Sheikh Saab was saying, anybody who takes name of India is not even a Muslim. So his conviction is very strong that he is an Indian, but at the same time he wants to do something. He wants this bridge the gap between the mindsets of Jammu and Kashmir people and the rest of the country. So he will do everything, but he will not do anything for posturing. Yes, these are teething problems. We understand that sometimes a statement from this side will be rebuffed from that side, but basically, I think it will take some time till both of us come on the same page.
A second problem that has arisen as a result of the last 2 days is that people fear the differences that divide the BJP and PDP may be greater than the points of agreement you forged to create your alliance. Are you worried that we will repeatedly see these sort of problems over the next 6 years?
No, it's not like that. I said these are teething problems. I mean, two opposite forces are coming together. These opposite forces are not only vis-a-vis PDP, BJP. This is the reflection of what people of Jammu and Kashmir think and what the rest of India thinks. So if you think, as I said earlier also, that the next day we are going to behave like Siamese twins, that we were born together, we look together, look alike, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We are going to have, we have to travel this distance slowly and steadily, but at the end of the day, I'm very hopeful it is going to transform not only Jammu and Kashmir, whether it's their mindset or the development or the reconciliation, but also transform, the rest of the country as their mindset vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir is going to bring peace, tranquility, prosperity, I think to the whole country.
Okay. Let me then, in that spirit, quote to you something your father said just after he was sworn in. His words were, "I forged this alliance out of conviction, not convenience, despite the contradictions." What is the conviction that leads Mufti Sahab to want to embrace Mr. Modi and the BJP?
Well, the conviction is he feels that there is, first of all, Jammu has given mandate to BJP, Kashmir has given majority seats to, PDP. So, this is, first you have to respect the mandate. Secondly, you have an NDA government in New Delhi where you have a Prime Minister who has all the moral and other authority to take certain hard decisions, like, follow the footsteps of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, which is there in our, alliance document also, that he will take the peace process initiated by Atal Bihari Vajpayee forward vis-a-vis Pakistan, vis-a-vis Hurriyat, taking the LOC trade to second level, transfer of power projects to Jammu and Kashmir, taking development to great heights. So everything is there, and he's the only one. I mean, look at Congress. They got 10 years.
Let's not look at Congress. This is not about Congress, Mehbooba ji. This is about you and your ally. No. Let's stick to you and your ally.
No, that's what No, but you're not. See, my point is that why we went with BJP, why not with Congress? Because if Congress really wanted whatever we have put in an agenda, whether it is regarding ESPA or taking the LOC to second level or talking with Pakistan or Hurriyat or building a atmosphere of peace and reconciliation, they could have done it. Because NC and Congress were ruling in J&K and Congress was in at the helm of affairs for last 10 years in Delhi. So they haven't done it. Now what is the alternative? It is an NDA government where there is Mr. Modi is there, Mufti Sahab is here, he has experience, and he has shown during those 3 years that Pakistani General Musharraf, he said at that point of time, after seeing the change in Jammu and Kashmir, that United Nations resolutions are not needed anymore. What are you talking about?
Let's then come to your agenda of alliance.
We can change things within Jammu and Kashmir, but we need help from the leadership at center government to build this this atmosphere for peace and reconciliation, because there is going to be no development.
Mehbooba ji, let me then come to the agenda for alliance, and let's come to how you've attempted to bridge the differences between your two parties on two critical issues that divide you. First, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. Now, this is what your agenda for alliance says. The coalition government will examine the need for denotifying disturbed areas. This, as a consequence, would enable the union government to take a final view on the continuation of AFSPA in these areas. Now, first of all, what does the need to examine denotifying disturbed areas mean? That doesn't sound either like a guarantee or a commitment to denotify. It's simply examine the need for denotifying. So what does that mean?
Well, Karan, if you know, this is not something new we have been talking about. My father took up this issue in 2007 also, when UPA government was there, and Defense Ministry appointed a committee. They assured us it will be done within 6 months.
Let's not go back into history. What does this phrase today mean?
Manifesto, just please listen to me. These are the words that you have to examine the denotification, because it is the state government which comes to power. They will examine the denotification of Disturbed Area Act, and that is ultimately going to lead to the consequences of, phasing out of ESPA, because it's for the state government to denotify. It is that the national consequences are, phasing out of ESPA. There are no two opinions about that.
Forgive me. It may not lead to the consequence you're saying, because you're
being there in the government, he should just do it.
No, just a moment, Mehbooba ji. It will not.
Which is going to be the first place, which is going to be the second place.
Mehbooba ji, let me point this out. all that you're agreeing to do in this agenda is to examine the need for denotifications. That's not a guarantee you will denotify. It's quite possible
But
you may
that's how
not.
it starts. No, see, Karan, I said when we revoked Pota and released, the Hurriyat leader, at that point of NDA government had certain apprehensions. But when they saw the result on the ground, then they got more confidence and we moved ahead.
Well,
that's what's going to happen again.
Well, let me point out.
Because you need to create that kind of atmosphere where, they also get some kind of confidence because they are apprehensive.
Even if your state government, after examining the need for denotifying, actually does denotify, this is the follow-up. The final word on the continuation of AFSPA will lie with the central government. Now, in that case, Mr. Modi will have a veto whether to remove it or not.
Well, I don't know, I don't know, Karan, when an area is notified as disturbed, ESPA follows. But when it is denotified, ESPA has to go. You should know that.
But remember, I'm quoting your own agenda. The union government will take a final view on the continuation of AFSPA in these areas. That gives Mr. Modi a veto by your own language.
Yes, exactly. It has to happen, there are certain legalities. Once you do denotify an area, ESPA goes.
Prima facie, this looks to me that on the issue of AFSPA, it is in fact the PDP that has climbed down. Your language makes it quite possible for AFSPA to continue unchanged.
No. It's not about climbing up or climbing down. When we are working together, it is a matter of confidence and faith which is going to, grow with the passage of time. They have certain, apprehensions. We have certain apprehensions. So we are going to create a situation wherein their apprehensions are, taken care of and these things follow in line. Because I have said times and again that when militancy was at peak, you had thousands of militants. You needed ESPA. Now today the militant number has gone to hundreds. Why should India be seen as a power where Jammu and Kashmir is there only because of the military is there?
Okay. Let me then come to Article 370. Let me come to Article 370 because here, Mehbooba ji, the opposite conclusion comes. Here, you've got almost everything you want and it looks as if the BJP has climbed down. Because once again, I'm quoting your agenda. It says, the present position will be maintained on all the constitutional provisions pertaining to J&K, including the special status in the Constitution of India. That, this time round, is a clear climb down by the BJP.
No. I won't say it is a climb down for any party. After all, everybody knows that you cannot touch the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. And so times are changing, people are changing, nobody is going to be taken away by these slogans anymore. And today, when this oath ceremony took place, our ministers, they took oath under the Constitution of Jammu and Kashmir, under both the Constitution of India. There were two flags. This is a reality. And I'm happy that, while forging this alliance, we have agreed.
Mehbooba ji, there is another reality.
In past.
No, Mehbooba ji, there is another reality. You began your answer by saying that today everyone knows you can't change the constitutional status of Jammu and Kashmir. The truth is that until the BJP signed this agenda, they wanted to change it. Their manifesto in May last year was committed to abrogating 370. When they came to campaign for the Kashmir elections, they changed it. They said they wanted a debate on 370. Now, they neither want to abrogate nor do they want a debate. Now, they've actually accepted to keep the constitutional status as it is. Therefore, I come back to you. Just as you climbed down on AFSPA, they've climbed down on Article 370. You're 50-50 in terms of climbing down.
No, I don't agree. I mean, everything is being done for the welfare of the people who voted in thousands and thousands during this election. In spite of everything, and we are trying to compliment them, we are trying to pay a tribute to them. Both, phasing out of ESPA or maintaining the special status is a tribute to the people of Jammu and Kashmir and ultimately a tribute to the people of this country.
You're being very understanding about the rhetorical differences you've had in the last 2 days with your ally. Now you're being very understanding about this question of who climbed down on what. I get the feeling that actually there is a real measure of understanding that's been established behind closed doors between your parties. Am I right in saying that perhaps the media and the outside world doesn't understand how close the two parties have come in wanting to forge a bond, as your father called it, a bond of conviction, that perhaps you're closer than the media realizes and the public realizes?
Well, I think, Karan, there have been many reports in the round table, that Prime Minister's round table, which have recommended revocation of ESPA, transfer of power projects. But there was also one thing that the media needs to be sensitized vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir. And I think the time has come. As far as, you saying we have come closer, my father has a great vision. And I'm very happy that, the people in NDA, especially the Prime Minister, understands that here is a man who wants to bridge the gap between Jammu and Kashmir and rest of the country. He wants to be a man of reconciliation. There is an opportunity. And we are all ready to, walk together and realize that vision, he has. So I think it's going to be, inshallah, it's going to be great.
Is there a personal chemistry between Narendra Modi and Mufti Saab? I saw that they were hugging very closely and effusively on two separate occasions. Is there a personal chemistry between the two?
Well, I can't say that. I think it's too early to say that. I see that Mr. Modi as a very spontaneous and very, person who doesn't mince any words, like my father doesn't mince any words. So I think we have made a very good start, inshallah. And we hope, there has to be a chemistry between the people of Jammu and Kashmir and rest of the country. It's not only about chemistry between Mufti Saab and Modi ji.
Can I ask you
this?
The
chemistry has to go beyond these two guys.
Does Mufti Saab trust the Prime Minister?
Well, of course, we have taken such a huge step. There has to be trust between the two, persons, between the two parties. That is only way you can, kind of restore the trust between the people of Jammu and Kashmir and rest of the country. We are also, trying to restore trust between our country and our neighbor. We are trying to, help facilitate between restoring that faith, not vis-a-vis people of Jammu and Kashmir between the two sides, but also play that Jammu Kashmir becomes a bridge of reconciliation between our country and Pakistan.
In which case, given the bond that's been established between Mufti Saab and the Prime Minister, given the fact that there's trust between the two men, will the PDP join the NDA and become part of Mr. Modi's government at the centre as well? Will you extend your alliance from Srinagar to Delhi?
I think it's too early, to talk about the other alliance there, because we want this alliance first to stabilize, then start working, show results, give peace, tranquility and development to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, who really deserve it after such a long time. So let's concentrate, let's focus on this alliance here within the Jammu and Kashmir.
My last question to you, Mehbooba ji. Are you confident that you can survive 6 years together with the BJP, or are you worried that the sort of political eruptions we saw in the last 2 days could happen so periodically and so often that instead of pulling together, you could get pushed apart by circumstances and by political developments?
Well, to be very honest with you, my focus is not whether we will be able to go together for 6 years. My focus is how much we can perform. Whatever time we have, 6 years, 10 years, 12 years, 5 years, 2 years, 3 years. Because our focus is whether we'll be able to, work on the agenda that we have established between the two parties, whether it is political agenda or this developmental agenda. That is my focus, and that is something, that is the challenge we have, because people have very high expectations from us. So if I have to worry, I'll be worried about this, agenda for alliance, how soon we can implement and work it and, get the fruits of this alliance to the people of Jammu and Kashmir state, because they are suffering, especially the people who suffered during floods, unemployment, people on our borders, when there is firing. I mean, there are so many things that I should be worried about, not whether this government survives, this alliance survives or not. If it survives, very good. It should survive for the good of the people.
All right, Mehbooba ji, your last sentence was the most telling. If it survives, very good, but how long it survives is not your concern. How much it delivers is your priority. People may well interpret that differently, because I've never heard the leader of a party say before she's not worried whether her government survives full 6 years or not. But I thank you for your honesty, and I thank you for giving me this interview. And there we end this particular episode. If you have been, thanks for watching.